Salutes, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. This is Kenya Revolutionary again for our daily waffling, ramblings, rantings. Uh, I'll be here for briefly 30 minutes just to highlight some things, talk about some things, okay? If you really are interested in getting into this chat and actually saying something, you're more than welcome. I will post. Let me post the link just in case you want to get in. I'm telling you, this is open forum. We don't. If you don't like what I'm saying, you're always welcome. Always welcome, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. Today. As you can see, the topic there. The topic is the global elites. They handpick our leaders. They do handpick our leaders, okay? And I will explain why, okay? Because I know some of you are like, you talk, you're a conspiracy theorist and all this and that. It's a cute term, conspiracy theories or conspiracy theory, a term that was coined by the CIA to counter the people who in the 70s, the people who are actually talking about the truths behind what the CIA was doing in the 1970s. But let's get back to Kenya, because I know my audience is all about Kenya as it relates to the global, what's going on globally, okay? With all the stuff in Palestine, all the stuff is happening with Russia, Ukraine, and it affects us, okay? So just to give you a quick layout, how I see things and how things are, and you're free to disagree. Here's the link in case you want to join the chat. That's the link right there. Can you see it? Can you see it? Right there, yes. Just copy it and you can get in and give me your 2 cents. Now, yesterday I was looking at this Spice FM and I was watching this guy called Odhiambo Ramogi, who is an economist. And he is, I guess, the head of the organization called Okoa Mombasa. And something struck me in this interview, specifically when he mentioned something about SGR, how SGR Kenya paid 5 times the amount of money that Ethiopia used to build a rail in their country, okay? And how he mentioned how this money did not even get to Kenya, because yes, we took that loan from the Chinese government, okay? And when you borrow from the Chinese government, Chinese bank, the money was supposed to, once you borrow, whether it's from IMF or Chinese bank, it's supposed to come to the consolidated fund, which is basically the treasury, our account, our Kenyan account, the national account. Let me just use that, okay? Our bank in Kenya. It should come there. You borrow it, they give us the money, it comes to Kenya in our bank, then we withdraw it and use it for what we need to use it for, okay? But in this case, this money did not even reach the consolidated fund, our national bank, okay? It did not get to Kenya, which begs the question, where did that money go? But before I get to those details, because I'm not here to discuss SGR, I'm just trying to make you think about something that's a bigger picture. Because I usually tell this, if you're looking at problems, let's not just point fingers there, Raila Odinga, Ruto, this government. Let's look at okay, yes, we should hold them responsible. Yes, by all means, the people responsible for doing this. But also, we should look at the deeper, the origin of the problem. Where does it start? Okay, if there's a problem today, let's say you have a problem in your car. Okay, yes, you can hold. If you gave your little brother or your sister or your wife who was the last one to drive that car, yes, you can say, Sister Nani, you're the one who drove this car last. You're responsible for this mess. That's one thing. But if you really want to get that car moving, okay, you have to go and take it to a mechanic. Look, let's check it. See is there any leakage? Where's the problem? Where's the beginning of the problem? Okay, the root cause of the problem. Okay, blaming the driver who was driving that car last is not enough. Yes, we can put blame on Uhuru. Yes, we can put blame on Kibaki. Yes, we can put blame on Moi. But where is the root cause? Okay, if there's a crime, if the crime happened, where did it happen? Who was responsible? Those are the people who we need to hold accountable, but we never do. So back to this interview that I was telling you about. And if you remember in the beginning of Ruto administration, the people were asking, can you show us the contract, the SGR contract between this Chinese bank and the Kenyan government? Murkomen was trying to be clever, and he only posted some parts, okay, of this contract in his Twitter page. Didn't show the entire contract, okay? Now, some of them argue that the lender and the government agreed that this contract should be kept secret. They signed a contract to say that this contract should not be disclosed to the public, which is an oxymoron, because how can you say that this contract should be kept secret? You cannot sign a secret MOU and say we cannot release the details of this contract, okay? Because we, the people of Kenya, are being charged. We are paying the tab for this loan that was taken for the SGR, okay? So you cannot tell me, it's like you going to the bank, okay? You get a loan on my behalf, and once you get that loan, you sign a secret contract, MOU, memorandum of understanding between you and your lender and the bank, the lender, saying that you cannot reveal the details of the contract, while you expect me to foot that bill, to pay for that loan, which you've taken in my name. Does that even make sense? Okay, so this group, Okoa Mombasa, led by Mr. Odhiambo Ramogi, who's an economist, he was in Spice FM. Please go look at that interview. It's a very eye-opening interview, in my opinion. So they went to court and said, hey, listen, this thing should be revealed, okay? And so far, the government hasn't revealed anything regarding this contract. And so he speculated. He gave a speculation and said that most likely the reason why this contract was not revealed, all the terms on this contract, the contract of this loan, is because probably more likely, the government gave the ports, the Mombasa port, as a collateral. What does that mean? It means the Chinese will control the Kenyan port for an X amount of time, because we cannot pay that loan within the term of the loan that was agreed upon, which I think is 15 years, okay? Now, even though it was speculation from Mr. Odhiambo Ramogi, he might be very correct, because that's the controversy that's happening in Tanzania right now with their ports. It is being claimed that the Dubai is now going to take over their ports. Their ports. Zambia, if I'm not wrong, Zambia are being controlled by the Chinese. Their ports are being controlled by the Chinese for the next, I don't know how many years, because they have a loan with the Chinese people. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and enemies and comrades. The bigger question for me was not only the loan terms that Murkomen refused to reveal to us. Remember, the SGR loan was taken under Uhuru Kenyatta administration. Remember that? Uhuru Kenyatta. We all know the story. You know, I usually sit here and tell you guys that Uhuru Kenyatta, Ruto, Raila, they're all part of this Kenyan political elite class, and they're not really enemies. These guys are just playing us. They're playing to be enemies, but when it comes down to it, they sit back, they call each other at the end of the day, and they kick their feet up and drink wine and smoke cigars and marijuana in case of Uhuru Kenyatta, and laugh at us, how we argue about Azimio and Kenya Kwanza like fools. Okay, at least for those who are gullible. The reason why I say this is because for this reason, okay? We were meant to believe that Uhuru Kenyatta ostracized Ruto in 2017 in favor of Raila because Raila legitimized him, okay? So became brother after the handshake. And we all saw how Ruto was allegedly mistreated, ridiculed, ostracized, you know, and basically kicked out of government, essentially, okay? So when Ruto came to power, what were we expecting, okay? We were expecting, okay, maybe Ruto shall now, because remember, he also told us that he will fight corruption, a song that every administration that comes to power always sings. I shall fight corruption, I'll fight corruption. And we're like, okay, you know what? Maybe he will, because after all, Kenyatta mistreated him, Raila mistreated him. They just, you know, yeah. And these guys they've had their beef since 2007. Remember, these are the two guys who went to ICC, Ruto and Kenyatta. Okay, Ruto was said allegedly was funding the violence against Kikuyus in Rift Valley, while Kenyatta was funding the Mungiki who are killing, fighting back the Nandis and killing Luos in Naivasha, Nakuru, and in Mombasa through the police forces, okay? So these guys have always have their beef. But funny enough, they came together because of the ICC cases, and the ICC cases are still there, okay? They were only closed because the witness ended up dying because Kibaki was supposed to protect the witnesses, but he did not. David Itumbi gave up the identity of those guys, and they got killed, okay? So the case was closed because the witnesses disappeared, were killed, all right? But even if you go to the ICC, their cases today in their website, it says that anyone who has fresh evidence on the cases against Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta, if they bring up fresh evidence, they can reopen the cases. There's a reason why I'm saying this. I'll come to it, okay? Follow me. We are getting warmed up. We're getting warmed up, okay? Just follow me, all right? Let's go. Let me take a sip of this coffee. I will not be here for long, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. 30 minutes max, okay? Or maybe more. So anyway, so we were meant to believe, okay? Going by this, we were meant to believe that Ruto had beef with Kenyatta. They fell off. Their bromance was over in 2017 once Raila came in. This is a script, okay? It's a script. But this is what happened. I want you to look back. Hindsight 2020, okay? Follow me. So we were meant to believe that. Then came elections. Ruto divorced himself from these two. Of course, his boss, Uhuru Kenyatta. And Raila Odinga was the favored candidate, favored by Uhuru Kenyatta and his government. Okay? So we went to election day and Ruto won. And Kenyatta, the person who we were meant to believe that loathed Ruto, you know, gave up power. He handed power over to Ruto, the person who he actually were meant to believe that was his enemy. Okay? Now, let me ask you this before I even go further. Let me ask you this. Do you honestly believe that Uhuru Kenyatta, if he really disliked William Samoei Ruto, do you honestly think he would have given up power, handed over power to Ruto? In 2017 or 2007, when Kibaki lost the elections, okay? We know that he lost the elections. Kivuitu made the announcement at night somewhere in a basement somewhere, okay? And Kibaki went ahead and was sworn in at midnight because he knew the country was not having it. The whole country knew that he did not win, okay? And of course, people were demanding, the majority of people of Kenya were demanding that Kibaki should hand over power to Raila Odinga, who was the rightful winner of the 2007 election. Remember, the whole country, the majority of the country in 2007 voted overwhelmingly for Raila Odinga. Kibaki only had the vote of the Central Province. only. Everywhere else, Kalenjins, Rift Valley, Coast, Nyanza, name it, it was all ODM. Okay? Even so, Kibaki, after losing, refused, remember, refused to hand over power to Raila Odinga, to a point where we almost descended to a civil war. Now, go back to 2017, when Uhuru Kenyatta lost the elections. Maraga called off the election and said, this is null and void because there's enough evidence to suggest that this guy did not win. This was not transparent, okay? And called for re-election. When Uhuru Kenyatta decided to take power, and I'm going somewhere with this, just hold on. When Uhuru declared himself the president on his birthday, and people refused to recognize him as the legitimate president, why did Uhuru refuse to give up power to Raila Odinga? Now come 2022, if Uhuru Kenyatta really hated William Ruto, despised William Ruto, as we were meant to believe, we saw the fake acting at Bomas Center when they were discussing the BBI, when he was cheesing it up, laughing with Raila Odinga, okay? Do you think if Kenyatta did not like Ruto, do you think he would have given power, hand over power to Ruto after the 2022 election? Whether Ruto won or not, do you think Kenyatta would have given Ruto that power? Hand it over. Ask yourself that. Anyway, put that aside. Now let's move to this SGR. SGR and Eurobond smells corruption. Okay, we all know it smells corruption. And my question is this. It is very apparent that the previous administration, walikula pesa when it comes to these deals, whether it's SGR or Eurobond. Very clear. Why is this present administration not going and looking into these contracts and prosecuting those people who ate this money? Because if the money was borrowed from the Chinese bank and it did not even reach Kenya, why should we pay for it? And number two, if it did not reach Kenya, why is the current government not looking into this? That is the first thing this government should do. The president should protect its citizens, his citizens, from corruption like this, from this scam. But it seems like the president, the current president, William Ruto, does not care about this. He doesn't care. He doesn't want anything to do with any auditing. I told you a few weeks before, when there was a report, you saw that on Nation, it was reported in the news, when the Senate asked to audit the public debt so we can find out how much we truly owe, whether it's IMF or Chinese government or whoever we have borrowed for, even locally. Okay? When the Senate asked that to carry out an audit, Kimani Ichung'wah, among others, this pinhead, dunderhead, flat-footed pretender, misanthrope, lobotomized parrot, Kimani Ichung'wah from the Kenya Kwanza side, who glitz and gloats and bleats every day, talking about the corruption that the Kenyatta family has committed. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty, when the Senate asked to audit the loans, the debts that we actually owe, because remember, most of this debt that we are paying for as Kenyans were acquired illegally. And if we audit them, we'll find out that certain individuals pocketed that money. And as per the Constitution, these guys should pay for it, not the taxpayers. But Kimani Ichung'wah, among other lobotomized parrots, conveniently refused said that is not a matter that we should take right now. Okay? Auditing the debt, where we are being burdened by heavy taxes from this administration. And they're telling us that they are levying these heavy taxes because we have enormous debt. Debt that has been acquired illegally, that they refuse to audit to see if they acquired it illegally. Okay? You see the thing? So that's why I'm telling you, if this administration knew that Uhuru Kenyatta's government and even Kibaki, the loans that they took, walikula pesa, they ate the money, they spent that money, okay? They embezzled that money, they stole that money. They know that. Why are they not arresting the people who are involved in that scam? Instead, they're still piling on new loans that are being acquired illegally, because these loans that are being taken are being spent for recurrent expenditure, which is against the law. The Constitution only says that you only borrow for development. You cannot borrow for recurrent expenditure. Okay? And number two, any loan that should be taken by the government should be approved by the parliament. None of it will. IMF is still giving us money. Okay? Wanatupa pesa ni kama mchele. If you're feeding whatever. And they know that we've reached debt sustainability threshold. Okay? We cannot pay this money back. But IMF is still dumping loans on us. And we are taking it up. Ruto is taking it up. Okay? Just like, remember, David D told us, Kenya was already on SAPS, Structural Adjusted Program, from the Uhuru Kenyatta government. That's why you see there's a lot of privatization that's happening in Kenya. Everything in Kenyan government, everything that's supposed to be public for government, being run by government, is being privatized. Privatized by whom? Which companies are taking these contracts from the government? Okay, because they're trying to tell us that private sector is more efficient than the public sector. They're telling us that our government officials that are employed by the government are so incompetent, we have to get private sector to carry out the duties that should be undertaken by the public sector. Okay, but this is a clear ploy. Okay. It's a way of giving these international corporations to take over our economy, control our economy. That's why we are paying so much heavy taxes, and we have these economic free zones in Kenya. I'll talk about this. I'll make a whole video about this. It is here. Silent coup. How corporations overthrew democracy. Now, I know you're asking me, what has this have to do with the handpick on our leaders? And tell us, how does these people, the corporatocracy, what I call a corporatocracy, these global elites that control multinational corporations, the same folks, okay, who started all this international monetary system, okay? These are the same folks who started the IMF, okay? World Bank, USAID, they control that. These are the corporations. They use those instruments to control African economies, including Kenya, okay? These are the same folks who choose your leaders. Again, silent coup. How corporations overthrew democracy. We don't have democracy in Kenya. I've been preaching here day and night, telling you that Ruto is a colonial puppet. Uhuru was a colonial puppet. Raila Odinga is a colonial puppet. There is no democracy. These guys handpick our leaders and tell us, choose among this corrupt bunch. Tell us, who do you want to rule you? We chose Ruto. And meanwhile, after we chose him, we are still fighting over, oh, Azimio, oh, Kenya Kwanza, oh, Azimio, oh, Kenya Kwanza, oh, Azimio. Instead of holding these people accountable. What we can do to get our democracy back is hold these leaders accountable. Something that we do not do, we don't want to do, we're not interested in for some reason. Okay? No one seems to be interested in holding these people accountable. Okay? Kila mtu anaangalia tu tumbo yake. We just want to join government so we can also eat. It's our turn to eat. I have 5 minutes. I said I will be here for 30 minutes. I'm telling you, that's the only solution. We keep on having scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal. Loans after loans after loans after loans. Taxes are getting higher, higher, higher. The next finance bill will be more draconian than the current one. The VAT will be even 26% up. Na mtalipa, because you don't want to fight it. The leaders that these corporations have chosen for you are playing games. You saw Raila went to that demolition at the river demolition site. What was the purpose of him going there? Not to pick on him, but he's a easy target. What was the reason why he was going there? It's just to create a buzz for nothing, make noise, be in the headlines. Was he going to stop the demolition by going there? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like I say, I'll be only here for 30 minutes and I'm almost done. What I'm saying is this. Another reason why I will tell you, these people are handpicked. And I know some of you are looking at the next generation of leaders, the Babu Owinos, the Sifunas, the Sakajas. They are already compromised. Babu Owino, for example. Babu Owino, if he comes to power, let's say even if he becomes the president tomorrow, the World Bank and IMF, this corporatocracy, the corporations, they'll come to Babu Owino and tell him, Babu Owino, you know what? We know about your case. You shot somebody on camera. And we control the judges. Kome is an idiot sitting in the Supreme Court. We know her. We pay her. She's breathing because of us. She's getting money because of us. Okay? So Babu Owino, this is the policy that we want you to implement in Kenya. Okay? This is what we're going to do. Okay, Babu Owino? Okay. And Babu Owino being Babu Owino, like, yeah. Pialala. Tibim. Yeah? Okay, Babu Owino. All right. This is the policy. You shall raise taxes on VAT, taxes on VAT on fuel, raise it to 36%. Babu Owino will be like, probably, 36 too much. IMF, this is too much. Babu Owino, remember, you are in this kitty, you are in this chair because of us. We are IMF. If you can't do the job, I'll get Sakaja to do this job. Do you want to do it or not? And by the way, if you keep it up, that case we shall open it again. Babu Owino, VAT 36%. Do it, or tomorrow morning we are putting Sakaja. Your choice. And not only shall we put Sakaja, we shall send you to Kodiaga because we have the videotape of you shooting somebody. So Babu Owino, VAT 36%. In the IMF, yes. That is the same thing. That's the same thing they did to Ruto. They went to Ruto and told you, Ruto, we know about your crimes. We have evidence in the ICC. You killed a bunch of people in a Kiamba church. You and Sang, you are paying people to do atrocities in Rift Valley. So listen here, Mr. Ruto, okay? We are going to make you a puppet, okay? Yes, sir. Go give this speech and tell these African leaders that they should ask for more money from IMF because we are IMF, okay? And Ruto, don't forget, we have Raila Odinga who is out there. He's 125 years old. He can always take your place. You see him with those psychotic supporters that he has? Yes. Okay. You either raise this tax or else we shall put that senile old man to be president. Play with us. Try us. Okay, IMF. Okay, go give the speech. Then Ruto goes and gives the speech and raises taxes and tells you all these lies. Tells you about electric piki. and all this nonsense. Oh, I'll bring job here, I'll bring job, I'll bring development, I'll bring this, I'll bring that, I'll bring that, I'll do this. You know the story. That is how IMF works. They choose a bunch of crooked, corrupt leaders to do their bidding because they have dirt on them. So they give them offer, give them an ultimatum. You either do this or we do that. Okay? And they have to play along. Same thing with Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru was useless, the most useless president in the history of Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta Muigai Kenyatta was the most useless president in the history of Kenya and humanity. I will repeat that. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was the most useless president in the history of humanity. I have nothing but bottomless contempt for Uhuru Kenyatta, the most useless president in the history of humanity. Moi was afadhali. Moi was illiterate, but was afadhali. Uhuru Kenyatta was, you can put a goat there, and it was better than Uhuru Kenyatta. A monkey, an idiot, is better than the Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta was useless. He spent most of his time getting drunk and smoking marijuana. He didn't even know what's going on. I think his mother is the one who pushed him to be a president. That's why you see he killed a lot of. That's why I'm telling IMF found it very convenient to use somebody like Uhuru Kenyatta because they know he has dirt. He killed a lot of people in Nakuru. He killed a lot. They know about his land. They know about his properties in Switzerland, in Europe, UK. His father was an agent for the British. He was already an useful idiot that can be used, who smokes 24/7. Uhuru Kenyatta, I'm telling you, Google, there's no other president in the history of humanity who's worse than Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Useless. Not even a conman. He's not even a conman. They're horrible, horrible, my friend. At least Ruto has a half a brain. He knows how to danganya watu. We can tell he's lying to us, but you know, anatudanganya so much even we believe some of his lies because it's so sweet. At least he has charisma. Uhuru Kenyatta was picking his butthole on public while addressing people. These are the people that I'm telling you are used by IMF. And these are the people who, you know what gets me? These are the people that now, as the me, are trying to convince us that Uhuru Kenyatta was actually a good president. This is what gets my blood pressure up. This is what gets to me. I cannot, if I hear somebody says that Uhuru Kenyatta was actually better than, listen, I cannot stand Ruto. I cannot stand Ruto, okay? I can't. I know he's a puppet, but for somebody to try to convince me that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was better than Uhuru, I mean, better than this Kalenjin guy, whatever, Samoei, you must be out of your mind. Remember, even Ruto was saying in Kalenjin, this guy, I can slap him. He gets drunk, he doesn't do anything. He wakes up at 12 midday. And I'm telling you, that's why what gets me with this Azimio folks, the supporters that are trying to say that Uhuru was, in fact, improving the economy. Which economy was improving? David D told us that SAP did not start with Ruto. Ruto has been there for 12 months. SAP, Structural Adjustment Program, started under Uhuru Kenyatta. We were not told. While the prices were going up, Raila Odinga was telling us what? Ati wacheni kubweka. Okay? Well, he was demolishing things in the market, and Mama Ngina was taking the land. Raila kept quiet. Now at the river is happening. You see Raila with his big stomach straddling around, acting like he's an activist. What was he going to do at the cemetery? This is what gets to me. This hypocrisy is what I don't mind. Ruto is an idiot. He's not going to help you. He's a smart guy, but he understands that under IMF, if he doesn't carry out what IMF is telling him, they shall take him out, either through assassination or they shall take him out by propping up another president. But to tell me that Uhuru Kenyatta was a good president and helped Kenya, you need to have some psychiatric medication and you need to be taken out from the public because you're a danger to yourself and a danger to other people. Anyone who says Uhuru Kenyatta, I'm telling you, if you ever say that Uhuru Kenyatta was a better president for Kenyans, let me calm myself down. It's been 30 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Brothers and sisters, friends, and it's been a comrade. I'm about to wrap up this because I have to go somewhere. But to finish with this, I'll finish with this. What we can do is do what Okiya Omtata is doing. Hold these people accountable. The Markamens, Nani, what's his name? Ruto, Kuria, name it. We have to hold these people accountable. Stop paying attention to these idiots like Raila Odinga and the Azimio folks. These guys just care about the Neo. They care about the position. They're not going to help you. They don't care about Kenyans. They care about themselves. Tell me what happened to those 10,000 signatures that were telling us. Remember the 10,000 signatures that were telling us, hey, gather some 10,000 signatures. We are going to remove Ruto. What happened to that? Go ask him about that. Those are the opposition that you help. You go to those whatever, these streams that you talk about, oh, we are going to take over. What happened to those signatures? You tell me right now. What happened to those signatures? Martha Karua, go tell us. Those numbers that you were telling us, Jose Comago, I don't know what. What numbers they were telling us that they won by. Go ask them what happened to that story. Stories Ajaba. They keep on when I enjoy every time when I enjoy, and you guys fall for this crap every time. How long will it stop? How long will it stop? You let these people play around with you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, I have to go. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, my name is Kenya Revolutionary. Find me on YouTube. I will bring another live. I won't make another live probably till Monday. So peace and blessings, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.